Hello, loves. It's your girl Lynn here with Bohemian Heart Tarot. Thank you so much for stopping by, for watching this video. I hope everyone is enjoying their quarantine Easter as much as possible. I know there are a lot of individuals watching this who are used to celebrating with family and friends or going to some kind of congregation or meeting, whether it be church or some type of extracurricular activity. So, being quarantined is forcing us to not be able to take advantage of that. So, some people are getting a little down in the dumps, specifically with birthdays and not being able to gather for social events, again, like holidays, for example, Easter. Now, I did do a predictive video right before um, everything escalated with the coronavirus, speaking in reference to what Spirit was telling me, which was that we would be possibly quarantined for the most part until the month of July. So I want to just give you all some encouragement and motivation while you are working on your spiritual journey, and to also talk a little bit about things that you can do to work on your chakras. I mean, what better time than now to work with energy and to learn how to increase your energy, your own energy. So now, as a healer, as a light worker, I work with you all. I do spiritual work. For those of you who've gotten readings from me, I do spiritual readings. I do energy healing work. So, what does it mean to say when somebody's doing light work on you or spiritual work or whatever? So, we are all physical beings and beings of light simultaneously. So we exist in different dimensions, and the third dimension is what we can all see with our physical eyes. The 3D is what you can see, what you can touch. Um, so that's your physical body, okay? Now, when it comes to your light body, that's what a lot of psychics, clairvoyants, mediums, or whatever title you guys use for people like myself who can see outside of the third dimension, and we can get messages and downloads, and we can communicate telepathically with your light body. Okay, so that information will vibrate back to our third eye from your light body, and we'll be able to process it and speak it out physically to you. I have a few notes in front of me that I took, so that I could kind of also express in the most down to earth way that I can present, regarding chakras, regarding working with crystals. Okay, so hopefully this helps, because I do have a lot of clients that rely solely on the energy work that I do for them. But I feel like I love to empower you guys as your spiritual practitioner to go ahead and do your own light work and energy work and healing work and spiritual work, because that only amplifies your energy, and you can start getting downloads directly from spirit yourself. A lot of people that I deal with, a lot of my clients, you guys are already psychic and clairvoyant. You're just not as trained, and your psychic energy is not as strong as mine, because I've been doing this my whole life. But you have the gift, and I'm just going to give you some tidbits on how to enhance that. And if you've gotten a reading from me, I probably already did that, but here's a video you can rewind and watch back to back. So, okay, with that being said, we are all beings of light. So this is where the tie between the physical body and the spiritual body comes into play. For example, if you're holding a crystal, this isn't just a physical object. It emits a specific piezo frequency. So it can be tested, particularly if you're using specific equipment. You can test the frequency of this crystal to see what the vibration is. And this is selenite, by the way. So this particular crystal has a specific effect on a physical object, whether it's a plant or a human or whatever you put it near. Okay. And then you can test another crystal, for example, and this is my favorite one these days. This is a piece of black tourmaline. This is, I'm going to talk about these two in just a moment, but this is going to have another frequency that it's going to vibrate at and resonate at. And herbs are the same way. Humans are the same way. You may meet somebody and be like, why don't I vibe with them? Excuse me. What is it about them that I just can't rock with or vibe with? And you're picking up on their frequency. You're tuning into the frequency of that person, and it just doesn't resonate with you. It just doesn't jive with you. They may be operating on AM and you're on FM. So their signals are so different from yours that you guys just can't fine tune and tune into one another. Like, and some people on frequencies you can't even hear unless you have certain equipment, okay? So with that being said, you know, we come from different places before we're born. Some people come from the same place as you, and you guys may tune in like this. You may meet them and click right away, have this deeper knowing that you guys have been together before, that this person is meant to be a part of your journey, whatever the case may be. But their light and your light could be similar light. Because when we're talking about light, we're not just saying, okay, the same way that you see light in the third dimension. There are different levels, different spectrums of light. For example, with my holistic practice that I am working on growing, because I've been doing healing energy work for years, but I am in the process of putting together my spiritual practice, my holistic practice. So I decided to go with the name Pink Spectrum. Why did I choose that name? Because the color pink doesn't exist per se scientifically, but it does vibrate a certain energy anyways. So everything is energy, colors, sounds, like I said before, humans, herbs, plants. That's why when people talk to their plants, there are scientific studies that have been done that people that talk to their plants, sing to them and put them in certain environments with crystals and different things like that, their plants are like 3 or 4 times bigger than other plants because they're projecting a frequency of love, which resonates higher than any other frequency. Hate is, down here, love is up here. And I talked about this before in a couple of other videos. Rose otto oil, rose absolute oils have the highest vibrating frequency of all the essential oils. They're more expensive. They're $70, $80 to $300, $400, but they resonate and vibrate higher. So if you're doing love work, spell work, healing work, those are the essential oils that you want to use. Okay. All right. So all of this is about energy. So all of that ties into what I'm saying. Now, when you are looking at your chakras energetically as a spiritual healer, when I see chakras, I see something that's kind of like a tunnel, I guess you can say, that needs to turn. It's almost like a wheel, like the blade of a fan, or maybe even a funnel, on the front of an airplane, how you have that little nose and then you have the little fan around it. The energy projects itself to me that way. So that fan can be to the point where it's not turning at all, or it's just, it's just not working. Or it can be spinning in a counterclockwise method when you want it to spin clockwise. Or it can actually be smaller than it needs to be, and or it could be clogged, different things like that. And I can feel it energetically, and then I'll get a visualization of it. So for those of you who are not able to see energy that way, what can you do? There's a lot. So let me just kind of jump in, because I know a lot of people get discouraged when they're new to the journey, but keep on pushing, because I remember being at the beginning of my journey learning about energy and how it applies to humans, taking what I learned in biology and different chemistry and, different things that I learned in high school, because I was in a science club. So I've always been infatuated with energy and science and, atoms and, quantum physics even. So I can apply those things to my practical everyday life now. But some of you may not have been exposed to this, or may not have had an interest to it, or just didn't simply understand it. So from the perspective of yourself, you have 7 main chakras that run from, like I said, 7 main chakras. So if we're starting at your physical body, the first one is going to be at your crown. And then, or we could say the 7th one is at your crown, because you really go from the root up. Because we're like a tree, for example. Our feet are like the roots, and then everything goes up and branches outward. So this is chakra number 7. This is your crown chakra. Then you also have a third eye chakra. Then you have a throat chakra. You have a heart chakra. You have your sacral at the bottom, your roots, your solar plexus, and goodness gracious, I can't think of the name right now. Sacral, solar plexus, and then your give me a minute. But anyways, the chakra, the reason that I'm even mentioning the names of them, well, pretty much let's look at the locations. Crown, third eye, throat, heart, and then you have the top right here of your belly, and then you have the bottom of your belly, and then your root area. Pretty much what I can honestly say about female clients is that we hold a lot in our lower 3 chakras. So solar plexus, sacral, and I don't know why I'm having this huge brain fart when I work with this energy all the time. But anyway, so it's going to be red, orange, and yellow going up. All right, so those are the stones that you can use to balance those chakras. What in the world is this? This is gonna drive me crazy. Um, Roots, solar plexus, and sacral. That's why, because I was calling the roots the sacral. So your root is the red, is the bottom. Then you have your sacral chakra. Then you have your solar plexus. I'm like, wait a minute, what in the world am I doing? Okay, so the root chakra, which is what I said earlier, is the chakra that is at the base of your body. Now, keep in mind, these are the 7 major chakras. And the reason that I continue to specify that is because you have ear chakras, you have spleen chakras, you have chakras in your hands and your feet. People will not believe the chakras that you have in your hands and in your feet, because you have also in your body meridians, which are channels or portals. So that's why acupuncture, for example, works, because it will go in there. Those needles will go in those precise little pressure points in your body, and they will unclog those specific chakra points or meridians that are in your hands and your feet. And I've even seen them do it in your head as well. What I can honestly say about the hand chakra is that if you want to really truly activate yourself, heal yourself, cleanse yourself, declog your chakras, you want to start with your hand chakras. And I know people are like, well, that's not one of the 7 main chakras, but it is a huge portal of energy. So I don't know if you guys feel it when you're holding your cell phone or anything else in your hand, but you get this feeling of heat. Okay, because your hands are receptive. You do receive things. You receive money. You receive food. You receive gifts, whatever, pleasure, or pain, or whatever. You feel those things. You receive those things in your hand. And your feet also have portals and chakras and energy meridians, because they keep you grounded to the earth. Okay, so I'm going to get into some different other things, but since I have this in my hand and I'm talking about the hand chakra, one of the things that you want to do at night, if you're going to sleep and you're listening to meditations, you're listening to solfeggio frequencies or binaural beats, whatever you call them, with specific frequencies that are really, really high. And they're so high because they're programming your subconscious mind for healing. And they're going in and they're projecting and downloading ideas and thoughts. And they also vibrate at certain frequencies, which your body can recognize as healing frequencies. That's why they tell you when you listen to certain music, it puts you in a certain mood. If you want to get crunk, you're going out, you're doing something, you want to listen to something that's going to hype you up. If you want to relax, you listen to some jazz. If you want to, if you're feeling grateful, you may listen to gospel or any other kind of, native drumming or soul music. Okay, so this is a selenite piece. I mentioned that earlier, with a piece that is very high frequency for healing, like for example, selenite, rose quartz, or clear quartz, because clear quartz will do just that. It will clear those chakras just like this. You want to hold it in your hand, and if it's a wand like this, you can hold it the way that I'm holding it, or you can just extend it out in your hand like this, which is to me one of the best ways to hold it, or just like this. And what you can do, you can put two hands together. What you want to do is you want to hold this energy out in front of you so that it can kind of project outside of your physical body into your energetic field, which is why when you pray in this position. Okay, so you're activating your light body and you're bringing the energy down in front of you, and it's going throughout your entire body. You'll be able to start feeling it from your hands all the way down. Okay, so that's one thing. Clearing your body, healing your body, and sending energy. And I just got this huge burst of energy when I did that. Okay, so that's how you bring healing in using your hands. Okay, so let's say your chakras are you're trying to learn how to be more intuitive, right? So your third eye, for example, is blocked. And I'm going to get into some chakra, some signs how you'll know what chakras are blocked or not. So let's say you're trying to clear your third eye, then you're going to want to gravitate towards amethyst mainly. Now, if you don't have all of these, get a clear quartz. Like I said earlier, it will clear your chakras. So that is great. But the reason that you want to vibrate with these certain stones of certain colors is because the frequencies, remember earlier I said sound, music, and colors carry certain frequencies, okay? Because there are different light waves that they're going to pick up on, and they're going to carry. So they're going to connect with those chakras, okay? Now, this is going to help you to see into the spirit world a lot differently. So this is amethyst. This is one of my favorite stones I've always been connected to, and I didn't realize that it is, specifically because I'm clairvoyant, but in the beginning when I first started, using them. But I was just always drawn to it. So you want to place this on your third eye when you're doing your meditations, when you're laying in bed right before you're falling asleep, because you should be doing your meditations. And you should also be listening to those high frequency musics, okay? You can even focus on the color purple as well. But you want to place it right on your physical, third eye, which is right in between your eyebrows, okay? And then you want to imagine your chakra. Again, you can imagine the blade of a fan. You can imagine a lotus flower. You can imagine spears and shapes, sacred shapes like triangles and what is it called? The Fibonacci sequences that are found in like flowers and other geometric symbols. Or you can imagine even a diamond shape, okay? And you can definitely do that for your crown. But for your third eye, I would imagine a diamond. I don't know why a diamond always comes to my mind for a third eye, but you can do that. And just keep that energy right there on the third eye as long as you can. And just focus on picturing your chakra being clear and cleansed. And any images and downloads and thoughts that you get, pay strong attention to those. You may hear names. You may see pictures and images. You may get some past life glimpses, different things, supernatural things do occur when you let's see what I have here in my notes. Supernatural things do occur when you're activating the third eye chakra, okay? Because you're going to see your higher self clearer in a more clear manner. You may see beings of light. You may see, and those are angels. You know, you may see these things. So with your third eye, you can also see future things. That's how I see events, and that's how a lot of us clairvoyants see things. So be prepared for that heightened energy. So let me just go through here and talk about the crown, because I did kind of hit on it. But the crown chakra is inside the top of your head, like I said. You can also use purple for that as well. If you only have so many crystals, you know, but I love to use clear quartz or Herkimer diamonds or whatever kind of, you know, crystals that are vibrating in clusters. And what I will do when I am meditating is I will specifically sit it on the side of my head so that I can pick up information, kind of tune myself to it. You'll feel like you're listening to a radio almost. You want that frequency kind of buzzes. And if you get really, really quiet, you can hear static ringing in your ears and different things like that as you kind of tune into the frequency of the crystal. But what happens is you'll get downloads from the crystal, because these are recorders. So they've held on to anything that they've ever experienced, things that were going on in the world hundreds of thousands of years ago when they were first created. And they're kind of just projecting those images to you and transferring that knowledge. If this is a little far-fetched for people, then I can understand it when you're first learning about it, but it is truly scientifically tested. As far as what these things do, crystals are inside of your quartz watches, your computers, your smartphones. They are the battery generators that charge and record things, amplify energy. So yeah, that's another good example too. An amplifier. If you have ever been to a concert and you've sat in front of the stage or the club and you've sat in front of the speaker, you know, for 2 or 3 days, you can feel like your hearing is lost because you are right near the amplifier and it's going directly into your ear chakra. Okay. All right. So, and speaking of ear chakras, that's where you get your divine communication from angelic beings, from your ancestors, your Orisha, whatever deities, spirits that you work with, whatever angels that are around you, spirit guides. Um, and when you get your clairaudient messages, meaning that you actually get something projected to you in the form of, you know, sound. Okay. You can get clairaudient messages by asking spirit for a sign, and then you turn on the radio and a specific song is playing. It's not a coincidence. It is you being in tune with the universe, and the universe, because the material world is an illusion, so we are able to manipulate that energetically, and energetically, that is how the material, physical 3D world communicates with us. Music, colors, plants, animals, sounds, things like that. So I don't want to get too far off of what I was trying to say, but the colors for the third eye, the okay, purple, like I said earlier. So we're gonna go down to the throat, and my thing with the throat chakra is a lot of us have throat chakra blockages from time to time. Even if we don't have any thyroid issues, we can have blockages in our throat chakras because a lot of times growing up, especially in the South, in different places where, you know, children are not allowed to speak their minds, or even as an adult, if you work in corporate, for example, you can't just go speak in your mind and blasting off. You have to follow a certain chain of command. There's tact, and there's a lot of things that you have to suppress because you just simply can't get it out. Because you're wearing a specific hat, so that can create a dirty throat chakra. Okay, and So to cleanse that, you can speak your truth. That's why I tell people to write down what they feel, and say it out loud when they're at home by themselves. Even just getting those thoughts out clears the blockages in your throat chakra. Okay. So also with your throat chakra, um, it can be overstimulated if you speak negatively. Okay. I don't have any. Yes, I do. For your throat chakra, you want to use a bluer stone, lapis lazuli. I don't have a piece of that. That's what I wanted to show. But I do have something that's a lighter blue. Okay. So blue stone. So a great way to keep this constantly activated is by wearing a pendant or a choker, especially when you're first starting out. Something that's going to keep it right there. Okay. All right, so that is the throat. Getting it out, expressing yourself, saying loving affirmations and kind words to other people. That will all help. All right, so then we're going to go to your heart chakra, which a lot of us also have heart chakra issues because this is where we keep attachments to people that no longer serve us, lack of forgiveness, guilt, grief, generational things that are holding us back emotionally, fears, we hold those here. So once you start working here, when that is clogged, um, it's going to be hard to manifest higher levels of love, friendships, um, intimacy, and the colors for that are going to be green. I don't have specific stones. Like for example, this one is green. Emeralds. I can't think of the green stone that I like for my heart chakra. But what I can also say is you can use pink. I love to use rose quartz for my heart chakra, but I'm trying to think of green. There's a green one that I used to use all the time, but rose quartz is excellent for your heart chakra, and it is pink. Citrine is excellent for your heart chakra because it brings those emotions to surface. Whenever you're doing heart chakra work, you also want to use black tourmaline because when those emotions and energies are pulled to the surface and you're shifting through them, you don't want them to go in any other areas and cause blockages. So you want to use something like a black tourmaline to keep yourself grounded and to absorb some of those energies that you're clearing out. You can also use again selenite and or clear quartz for your heart. And then also, I like these a lot. These are the little aura crystals, and you can just hold these in your hands while you have the quartz or the rose quartz, the clear quartz, the selenite, the citrine, or whatever green stones, watermelon, something that I used to like to use. But so for females, I do suggest that you carry your heart chakra stones. Just simply put a couple in your bra and put them inside of a little, like I keep my stones in a little bag like this, but you don't even have to do that. You can just put it inside of your bra, or you can wear a long enough necklace that has all your stones on them. And I carry, I wear one of those as well. But that necklace is going to project down into your bra. And if you have your stones, for example, like on pendants or in cages, then you can just keep that right there. That's actually when I first started carrying crystals, what I would do, I would have them inside crystal cages, and I would have all the chakras, and it would just kind of, send the energy up and down my body. But sometimes that's a little overwhelming. I do suggest when you're starting off to work with one crystal at a time. Specifically, if you want to combine them to do work, you want to make sure that the energy connects with you in a positive way first, because you can have some reactions, okay? Let's see if there's anything here that I need to discuss. Okay. So then we can go to the solar plexus, which is right behind your navel. So I always use stones and place them like kind of above my navel when I'm working with it, but the actual chakra is behind the navel. So right up here is where I always sit my stones when I'm doing work for the solar plexus. Now this is going to be an area that's yellow. Okay. So it's almost like you can think of a stoplight in reverse, or actually a stoplight upright, because you have, well, yeah, reverse. Green, yellow, and then red at the bottom. So this is going to be, it feels so good working this area. This is an area where fear is held, like I was saying earlier with women. Fear and guilt and different things that are that you don't want to let go of. And this is like one of the main areas. I don't know if it's because it's kind of like above the lower chakras and right below these up here, but it's an area that I see a lot of murkiness in, okay? So let's see, with the solar plexus, if you feel like you are not in control, then you'll have issues there. A lot of children have issues there. You may develop a lot of stomach issues, or if you're the type, when you get some bad news and you feel it in the pit of your stomach, or something doesn't feel right and you feel it there, then your solar plexus chakra may pull in a lot of energy. And when you're out in the world and connecting with other people, then you may connect with them solar to solar. I see that a lot. I've never read that anywhere in a book or anything, but I see that a lot. Okay, energetically. All right, so you want to use yellow stones again for that area. Again, the citrine can be used for that area. And I have a lot of different stones that I use at this point. I just grab what gravitates to me, but yellows are going to be, and whenever I think of yellow stones, I think mainly of citrine. But you also have like ambers, which is not a stone, it's more of a resin, but that can work good as well. All right, so under there we have your sacral, which is an orange color. So again, you can use any orange stones. And this is going to be your physical pleasures. So this can be sex, this can be food, this can be any kind of addiction that's pleasurable or something that is pleasurable. Drugs, alcohol, anything that is too overindulgent for you. Like I said earlier too, stress can cause this to be out of balance. Okay, so let's see if I wrote down anything. Okay, so pretty much this is midway between your navel and the base of your spine. So this is right under your navel. Okay, all right. So if you're trying to find out where to locate these, then last but not least, the root chakra is at the base of your spine. And this one is going to project a dark red color. I'm trying to see. And so I like to use garnets, and that's also my birthstone. Okay, I don't have it with me. Yes, but that can also be cleared with selenite and with quartz. Now, if you have any kind of issues with abandonment, or someone has, sexually assaulted you, rape, molestation, I have these cards with crystals on them. And you guys probably hear me talk about these all the time. Bloodstone, that's a good one. I had to pick them up because I'm forgetting the stones here. This one, rhodochrosite, and I'm actually wearing it, so I don't know why I didn't. This one is great if you have ever had any issues with sex, if you're having issues with sexuality, if you've again been molested, anything that has been off balance. For those women who've had hysterectomies or problems conceiving, I recommend you doing a lot of work on your roots, sacral, and solar areas. This is going to be all the way at the bottom near your pubic regions, your loins. Trying to see if there was anything else in here that I wanted to show you all while I have it in my hand. Okay, jasper. Jasper is great for your solar. All right, so I guess that was it. Okay, carnelian, that's another orange. I was trying to think of these all earlier, and they were kind of eluding me. This is what garnet looks like. Remember, I was talking about for the roots, my birthstone. Okay, yeah, and now it's just kind of peridot. This one, I'm hearing Spirit say would be good for your heart chakra. Now, there is a stone that I mentioned earlier when I said for your crown, Herkimer diamond. Very awesome stone. For your throat, you can use aquamarine, blue lace agate or agate, and aquamarine. All right. Malachite for your heart. And this is once you've advanced a little bit and you've done some work, I would suggest giving this a try for your heart. Moldavite. It has energy from outer space, so it's very high frequency energy, unlike any other stones found here on Earth. It's not a true stone. It's more of a bit of, I guess, molten glass. But this one is amazing at getting you in touch with ancestors and higher energetic beings, okay, if you're wanting to elevate. Now, with that, and with most of those, I would definitely recommend keeping yourself grounded using black tourmaline. So the reason I keep mentioning keeping yourself grounded is because you don't want to be too floaty and too up in the air. You want to always stay grounded because you are human. You're in a physical body. You live on planet Earth, especially if you are an Earth sign. Now, with that being said, if you think about electricity, whenever they come out and they start doing stuff, they always ground it and they put it underground so that the earth can absorb a lot of that negative, dirty electricity. And then also they use a lot of that black tape to, keep those wires bound so that energy is not just all over the place, because it can electrocute you and different things like that. So what this stone does when you're holding it is it goes into your chakras and it clears negative gunk out. It connects you with the earth. This is just like, I'm not gonna say this is just like hugging a tree, because hugging a tree is a totally different experience than anything I've ever felt. This is kind of like the best thing other than going outside in nature, taking off your shoes and just hugging a tree and kind of just planting yourself in nature. Like, even as I'm holding this right now, like I'm feeling everything draining right here. My crown is vibrating. Some people feel the energy go up their body. Some people feel the energy come down. It's just everybody's different. But this, my friends, is the #1 recommended crystal outside of clear quartz. And I would actually recommend, if you can only afford 2 crystals, black tourmaline and either selenite or clear quartz. Those were the crystals that I started off with. The first crystal that I ever bought was a clear quartz. And then after that, it was amethyst. And then I got a black stone. And then you don't have to get a big piece. A big piece like this at the store that I got it from was only like $14, but they had phenomenal prices. And as you all can see, it has some little inclusions here. But you can get a smaller piece like this, you know, black onyx. But I just like the tourmaline. You can look it up. Let's see. I have my crystal Bible right here in case you guys were wondering what in the world I'm down here looking at. And it's by Judy Hall. This is the 2nd edition. I've had this for over 10 years. Longer than that. Let's see what she has to say about. And this book will tell you all about crystals. And I forgot all about moonstone. And I'm wearing it everywhere. So for those of you all who are looking to elevate on a level, higher level intuitively as a psychic and activate your spidey senses, I would definitely recommend moonstone. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to get into crystal activations. I don't even know if she has it. Okay. Maybe she just has it under tourmaline. Okay, she doesn't even have it in here that I can see. But it's probably in the first crystal book. I mean, but you can simply Google. I just wanted to kind of provide you guys with a little bit of scholarship to, you know, back up what I'm saying. Okay, black tourmaline is also a powerful grounding stone, electrical in nature, providing a connection between earth and the human spirit. Its supportive energy aligns the energy centers of the body and channels healing light throughout the system. And I'm telling you, you can feel it going throughout your body. So it's going to detoxify and heal your emotional, spiritual, and mental, as well as physical body. So this is also great to protect you against electromagnetic frequencies, lower level energies. If somebody has been sending dark forces your way, black magic, hexes, and curses, that is going to be an awesome stone in combination with your other spiritual work. Okay. Now, what you want to do to activate your crystals. Okay. So when I get a crystal, first of all, before using it, I like to take it and I like to hold it, you know, just kind of focus on it, make sure that it vibrates with me and my energy. Make sure that we're a good match for one another. That's when you're out in the store shopping for them and stuff like that. When you bring them home, you want to take a small small bowl of water or a cup. Most of the time I put them in cups. And put some sea salt, pink Himalayan or white sea salt inside. And then you want to go ahead and let them kind of sit for a couple of days. Then you want to pour that water out, rinse them off, and run everything under some hot warm water. Put them on your windowsill in your kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, wherever, so that they can get some moonlight, sunlight, alternate for a few days, and then they'll be ready. They'll be ready to go. Now, when you use them a lot, especially if you're sick, or if you're very emotional, anxious, nervous, stressed, if you have a lot of panic attacks and stuff like that, you want to clear them often. So I would recommend buying 2 stones of the same stone so that while one is being cleared and charged, you can have another one to use, because you want to do that often. You can also take a selenite piece like this to use to kind of make a grid or a bed, and you can do the same thing with clear quartz, and you just sit your crystal on top of it so that it can be recharged. But the only way this is going to work is if your clear quartz has been cleansed with sea salt, set in the sunlight, in the moonlight, and charged up in and of itself. And also your intentions, you want to picture your items being clean as you're cleaning them, and as they're working with you, you want to picture them absorbing things from you. Selenite never needs to be cleaned. You don't want to ever wash it because it will dissipate, and that is the most cleansing stone that I've ever seen. So you can definitely use this keep a piece near your other stones, and they'll just kind of, regenerate themselves often enough on their own. Outside of that, I do recommend creating a crystal grid under your bed so that that energy is going to always continue to heal you. And what you do when you put the crystals out is you activate them. You put them in the shape of I do like a Star of David under my bed. And you want to take a crystal selenite piece or a wand or any clear quartz crystal that you can hold like this. And you want to take it from each point to the next point to activate the energy within the grid so that all of the energy flows on a constant current. And I think I have dropped enough information in one video for you all. So next up, I'm going to do some tarot. Thanks for watching. Peace and namaste.